I thought these were our agencies to protect our better interests, our world, our earth, our lives. What is going on here? Who do these people work for?
On April 20th, an explosion ripped through BP Deepwater Horizon drilling rig. 11 workers lost their lives. And soon, nearly a mile beneath the surface of the ocean, oil began spewing into the water.
BP has taken full responsibility for cleaning up the spill in the Gulf. We will make this right.
Make no mistake, we will fight this spill with everything we've got for as long as it takes. We will make BP pay for the damage their company has caused. And we will do whatever is necessary to help the Gulf Coast and its people recover from this tragedy. From the very beginning of this crisis, the federal government has been in charge of the largest environmental cleanup effort in our nation's history. We now have nearly 30,000 personnel who are working across 4 states to contain and clean up the oil.
And after the president's motorcade passed by, Jerry LaFont says, as his photos show, the workers immediately took off their cleanup suits and left.
When the official disappears out of the hardest hit area, so does 75 to 80% of the response.
We thought that they were going to be here for good reason, but they came in here, looks like, just to make a show.
When the president comes, they do a dog and pony show for him. They put busloads of people to work. The president comes on shore, touches some oil, gets back on a helicopter, flies right back over the people. They load those people back on the buses and ship them home.
You mean BP put those people there to make it look like they were doing something?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Because of our efforts, millions of gallons of oil have already been removed from the water through burning, skimming, and other collection methods.
So when they're burning the oil, they're burning whatever gets
Well, yeah,
caught
they drag a boom between 2 shrimp boats, and whatever's caught between the 2 boats, they circle it up and catch it on fire. Once the turtles are in there, they can't get out.
Over 5.5 million feet of boom has been laid across the water to block and absorb the approaching oil.
When you see all the boom deployed around all the little islands and everywhere, you assume that it's doing some good, right? Why would they throw it out there other than to give you the appearance that it's doing good?
They're not cleaning it up. They're covering it up.
A few months ago, I approved a proposal to consider new, limited offshore drilling under the assurance that it would be absolutely safe. That obviously was not the case in the Deepwater Horizon rig. And I want to know why.
Mr. Hayward, when you became CEO 3 years ago, you said that safety was going to be your top priority. You would focus on it like a laser. I want to ask you whether you think BP has met that commitment.
One of the reasons that I am so distraught.
I don't want to know whether you're distraught. I want to know whether you think you've kept your commitment.
We have focused like a laser on safe and reliable operations.
I'm just amazed at this testimony.
The American people deserve to know why.
You said you were here to answer the questions of the American people. You try and tell me you have not reached a conclusion that BP really cut corners here?
I think it's too early to reach conclusions with respect, Mr. Chairman.
The families I met with last week who lost their loved ones in the explosion, these families deserve to know why.
Again, I was not involved in decision making.
Does that mean yes or no?
It means I can't answer your question.
And so I've established a national commission to understand the causes of this disaster.
On behalf of other members of the Republican conference, I object.
I find it unbelievable that after everything the people of the Gulf region have endured and that this entire country has witnessed for over 2 months now, that anyone is still standing with the oil company that caused this disaster instead of the victims who are suffering from it.
How is it possible that members of this chamber find it difficult when the House of Representatives, in a near unanimous vote, could say that the subpoena powers necessary for the commission to be able to get to the bottom of what happened, and yet cannot even proceed here?
Tomorrow, I will meet with the chairman of BP and inform him that he is to set aside whatever resources are required to compensate the workers and business owners who have been harmed as a result of his company's recklessness.
I think it is a tragedy of the first proportion that a private corporation can be subjected to what I would characterize as a shakedown, but I apologize.
We need to get answers from BP and Transocean and Halliburton and everyone else, including the federal agencies. Not give apologies to them,
Now, a mobilization of this speed and magnitude will never be perfect. So if something isn't working, we want to hear about it.
Last Wednesday, BP's Chief Operating Officer Doug Suttles released a letter to the media which said, in part, BP has not and will not prevent anyone working in the cleanup operation from sharing his or her own experiences or opinions. I'm going to go and try and talk to a worker under the tent. Can I do that?
No, no.
He's on a break.
You are not allowed to interview any workers.
By now, you're probably familiar with cleanup crews, stiff-arming the media, private security, blocking cameras.
Sir, you cannot interview the workers.
BP has said again and again that's not their policy, yet again and again it has happened. We've seen it. But that's BP. Now the government apparently is getting in on the act. The Coast Guard today announced new rules keeping photographers and reporters and anyone else from coming within 65 feet of any response vessel or booms out on the water or on beaches.
When we tried to reach the beach, a boat of BP contractors with 2 Coast Guard officers on board told us to turn around under threat of arrest.
This is BP, not ours. What this means is that oil-soaked birds on islands surrounded by boom, you can't get close enough to take that picture. Shots of oil on beaches with booms, stay 65 feet away. Pictures of oil-soaked booms uselessly laying in the water because they haven't been collected like they should, you can't get close enough to see that. And believe me, that is out there. Those of us down here trying to accurately show what is happening, we are not the enemy. But to create a blanket rule that everyone has to stay 65 feet away from boom and boats, that doesn't sound like transparency.
In the 2.5 months since the oil disaster struck, a growing number of cleanup workers have reported suffering flu-like symptoms. The symptoms include headaches and dizziness, fatigue, nausea, problems with memory and concentration. And if history is any guide, the health effects on workers involved in oil spill cleanup efforts can be deadly. CNN has reported many of the thousands who worked to clean up the '89 Exxon Valdez oil spill in Alaska have either died or become sick.
BP is hiding everything they can, so you need to think for yourself and understand that breathing this crude oil is definitely going to be harmful to you.
This appalling disregard for the Gulf Coast and its inhabitants is without question one of the most shameful acts by a corporation in American history.
Had I known how toxic the crude oil would be, I would never, ever have gone out and cleaned the oil spill, because I've had to suffer for 21 years, and it doesn't get any better.
When our fishermen folks had their respirators on, they were told to take them off, that they would be fired if they used them.
I bought respirators and I brought them down, and when they tried to wear them, the BP representatives on site told them that they didn't need to wear them, and if they did, they would be taken off the job.
If they wore respirators, they'd be taken off the job?
Yes.
I cannot believe we are repeating the same mistake again. The same mistake we made in the weeks after 9/11, when the United States government caused thousands of people to get sick by denying that the air was toxic.
If we can't show what is happening, warts and all, no one will see what's happening. And that makes it very easy to hide failure and hide incompetence, and makes it very hard to highlight the hard work of cleanup crews and the Coast Guard.
We need to fully learn the lessons of this disaster with a thorough investigation, not protect oil companies from having their negligence exposed.
I know that my parish only makes up 2% of Louisiana's population, but does that make my people expendable? This is unacceptable. They are slowly poisoning every person that I've ever been close to in my entire life, and I'm standing here saying no more. We must take action. And that's enough.